I'm Randy Skarda of Hazen, Arkansas. I've lived here all my life. I'm a fourth generation farmer. This is my oldest son, Seth, and youngest son, Ross. They're fifth generation farmers, and we kind of have a family obligation to help each other out. And, mainly we grow rice and soybeans. The boys here always looking at me to see what I'm going to be dragging in out of the weeds or somewhere. But this has been going on for me for about 30 years, a hobby. Old farm equipment. I used to play on a lot of old stuff at my grandma and grandpa Skarda's house years and years ago. Anyway, Dad kept a bunch of about 5 old John Deere tractors out there in the honeysuckle thicket, and I pulled them in. One of them was the first tractor I ever drove, a 1936 Model A John Deere. And anyway, I got it back out, got it running, and the rest is history. I caught the bug, and it's hard to shake it. And I've tried to collect some area stuff from family names that have, a lot of them, the names are no longer around here, but anyway, I've picked up a few, mainly old tractors and stuff here and there, and I like taking them apart, seeing what happened to them, getting them running. And the cosmetics and all that, I don't really care, don't do a good job of painting and all that. But anyway, most of this equipment was just wore out and obsolete, and they parked it. And sometimes it was something simple happened and it wasn't running right, and they parked it and walked away from it. My dad had one like this, a 48, and it sat out there in the woods and rotted down. I can barely remember it running, and I'll be 69 in January. But anyway, I always wanted to redo one, but there was too much of it gone and missing. And then a gentleman, east of Slovak, came by and said he had a couple of them. If I wanted them, come get them. So I went ahead and bit the bullet and jumped into it, and that was in November of 2013. The best story was finding the engine parts, which is almost impossible, the intake and exhaust manifolds. Christmas Eve morning of 2018, Santa Claus called me, and he'd seen my want ads in antique magazines and wanted to know what I was going to do with the manifolds and stuff, and I told him what my project was, and he said, well, I've got those parts. As a matter of fact, they're connected to a complete engine that's been sitting in my shed for 50 or 60 years. He said, if you want them, come get them. And so anyway, off we went back in. Sometimes in January, the weather cleared up a little bit. We went to Kansas and picked up a complete engine and did odds and ends on it, tuned it up and all that, and runs like a sewing machine.
It's neat to see what your grandpa started on or used when he was farming 50 years ago, and being able to see something like this actually being put together from 3 different combines. I mean, it was no easy task. It was a lot of time. 2 years ago, this combine was in about 600 pieces scattered out all over our shop. I mean, it was one of those deals where we didn't know if Dad was going to be able to get it all back together, but which we knew he would eventually. But
really amazes me the work ethic that he's had restoring it, and you know, I'll assist every now and then, but just the time that he's put into it and really the know-how to do it, and the fact that he does this for fun and as a hobby, it's special.
Just seeing the way people did things back in the old days, I mean, they always say it's the good old days, but really and truthfully, it wasn't the good old days. It wasn't air conditioning, radio, and GPS. It was real men working hard. It is a great sense of pride. I mean, to take something that somebody basically discarded years and years ago and get out there and get it back in shape and get it to run. And Ross said, yeah, we basically, whenever he needed some muscle or some back strength, he talked to us and got us to help him. But I'm proud of him for keeping all this older stuff going.